naked music. Welcome back to So You're Interested in, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into their catalog. And on this installment, we will be breaking down the legendary discography of post-punk pioneers, New Order. Following the tragic death of Joy Division's frontman Ian Curtis, the remaining members of Joy Division decided to continue making new music under the moniker New Order. Since then, they have revolutionized and changed the landscape of post-punk, synth-punk, and dance-punk. Arguably one of the most influential bands of the 1980s, New Order's expansive discography is full of gems and classics. Normally I wouldn't cover a band this popular, but recently I had a personal friend of mine ask me where to start with this band, so I decided that making this video wouldn't be the worst thing that I've ever done. So, as always, I'll be recommending 2 albums and 3 individual tracks that I think you should be listening to if you want to dive into the world of New Order. Kicking things off are the albums. The first New Order album to listen to is their 1983 sophomore effort, Power, Corruption, and Lies. Pushing forward the limits of what post-punk can be, Power, Corruption, and Lies is chock full of groovy bass lines, glittering synths, and jumping percussions. Kicking off this record is Age of Consent. Featuring one of the best bass riffs of all time, gorgeous synths, and pensive lyrics, Age of Consent is a perfect example of New Order's sound and mantra. Plus, personally, it is one of my all-time favorite songs. 586 is another standout track, one that revolutionized darkwave and dance punk. During its nearly 8-minute runtime and multiple sections, 586 proves to be an expansive piece of music, ranging from metallic to melodic sounds through its many waves. Finally, this record closes out with Leave Me Alone. Although the guitars soar and exude a general good feeling, Bernard Sumner's lyrics bring this song in a different emotional direction, singing about a near-apocalyptic ending, people being abandoned, and one's knowledge of their self-demise. Leave Me Alone is a heavy track in a multitude of ways. Power, Corruption, and Lies is one of those records that needs to be heard all the way through to be fully realized and understood, so don't miss out giving this album a spin. The next LP from New Order to check out is their 1989 release, Technique. Some people may disagree with me for picking this, but I feel like this is the next most important record in New Order's discography in terms of its songwriting and sound. With the new technology of the time, the group is able to put together some amazing synth pop and dance punk tracks. For instance, All the Way is bright, colorful, and cheery with the upbeat bass line and gleaming guitars. Sumner's lyrics make this track sound like it should be the centerpiece of a coming-of-age film. Round and Round might sound like a gimmick on your first listen, as it really is a product of 1989, but it is much more deeper than it meets the eye. Round and Round is simply one of the best sounding songs that New Order has to offer. Then there is Mr. Disco. Being heavily rooted in, well, disco, this song is like an evolution to an entire genre, as New Order shamelessly interject otherworldly blips, bleeps, and everything else in between to breathe new life into this dying genre. There is an air of coolness to Mr. Disco with its deep textures and polished production. Technique is an incredibly accessible and enjoyable New Order album, making it perfect for incoming fans. And now, let's kick it to the tracks. The first New Order track to check out is Ceremony. Originally written for Joy Division, New Order recorded this iconic track and released it as their debut single. The pounding drum slaps and runny bass lines are larger than life as the song brings you to your feet as you begin dancing to its majesty. Amazingly enough, any iteration of this song will satisfy your New Order crave. There are a few things that I can say about this song that haven't been said already, so just make sure that you listen to it. One iconic song after another, the next New Order cut to jam to is Blue Monday. Utilizing a simple drum machine as its backbone, Blue Monday shines with its exploding synth flashes. It's a song that burns like a wildfire and continues to grow and evolve with each passing note. Sumner's lyrics and vocals are infectious, even through the straightforward delivery. There are very few dance tracks that are as iconic as Blue Monday. No wonder that this is the best-selling 12-inch vinyl record of all time. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on Blue Monday. Finally, be sure to hear Love Vigilantes, which is the opening track of their 1985 release, Lowlife. Still kind of a dance track, just without the reliance of a drum machine. The plucky guitars and hopping bass exude energy. Sumner's vocal stylings matching up to the main guitar's melody is just so pleasant to listen to. The lyrics tell a story about a soldier who is coming home from the Vietnam War, becoming one of the best story-driven songs that New Order has ever written. There is no denying that Love Vigilantes was written to be a pop hit, especially with all the hooks that are featured throughout the song, but it does showcase some of the best aspects that New Order has to offer. It may not reside in their typical soundscape, but it is still a necessary listen. And that will conclude this episode of So You're are interested in. The one issue that I have with New Order is that they have so many incredible albums and songs, making it impossible to write a video like this. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, even if I did miss some of your favorite New Order songs or albums, as it is pretty easy to do considering the show's construction. Maybe you liked what I had to say, maybe you disliked what I had to say, maybe this is your first time ever hearing about New Order and I'm your introduction to this band. Whatever it is, leave a comment, let me know, and you can recommend any other artists or bands that you would like to see featured on this show as well. Also, all the albums and tracks that I've mentioned are in the description box below. You can also subscribe for more videos just like this every single week, and be sure to check out the podcast that I host, Forever Spinning Radio, which is basically an hour-long radio block where I play music. It really is that straightforward, but hey, we have a lot of fun doing it. Anywho, that is just about all that I have to say, besides make sure you support your local artists and your local record store, and until I see you next time, happy listening.